जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, welcome back to the Saturday and Sunday Bhagavad Gita philosophical definition course. A lot of the concepts and the philosophical terms we have been studying along with the thematic study of the introduction and the preface. The preface, the mood and mission, two paragraphs on the mood, four paragraphs on the mission, and then some terminologies we studied. And then we began with the introduction essay which was the Mangalacharan, and we studied the Mangalacharan concept. Say Mangalacharan, Trivida Prakar. And then we went into the thematic study, paragraphs 1 to 8, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is called as Gita Upanishad. So, what we study in the Upanishads, Panchanga Nyaya, and within that there is Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan, and within this Panchanga Nyaya is the Tattvatraya. So, we saw this. And then application of Sambandha Abhidaya provision, we did this exercise. And then we completed this section, this theme. And then within this, because how we should study or interpret the Shastra, we went to the concept of Tatparya Lingas. So we studied this Tatparya Lingas. And then application of Tatparya Linga also we did. And then the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, 9 to 12. And within this, we went through because we have to understand the Bhagavad Gita education. So, stages of education, there are three Pranipata Pariprashna Sevaya, and then Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasana, and then Aditi Bodh Achara and Prachar. So, we saw this also. And then we came to this one of the biggest themes, that is the five subjects of the Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. So this elaborately in the last two classes, we have completed this theme. And within that, how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the absolute truth. We studied the concept of absolute truth from the Bhagavatam definition also. Now, a short theme, which is part of the discussion which is happening, the five subjects of the Bhagavad Gita. How Baldev Vidyabhushan treats these five subjects is what we are going to take up today, and maybe the next theme if we get time. So we have finished the theme of five subjects of Bhagavad Gita. Now let's see how Baldev Vidyabhushan treats this in his Gita Bhushan. So this is the extract from the introduction of Gita Bhushan only. That Swayam Bhagavan condensed happiness and knowledge, Satchidananda, is a supreme person endowed with inconceivable power, Achintya Shakti. His feet are the object of meditation by Brahma and others who create, maintain, and destroy the variegated universe depending on his order. Brahma Karena, Srijana, Shiva Karena, Samhara. Like that in one sense. Through his such pastimes as his birth, he gave exceedingly joy to his associates, whom he treated equal to himself, and who appeared with him. So he takes birth in Braj, performs wonderful leelas, and he treats his associates like himself, and he gives joy to them. And these are the Nitya Parshadas. And this can include the Sadhana Siddhas also. And by his pastimes, he liberated many jivas from the tiger's mouth of ignorance. Wishing to deliver others in future, after his own appearance, he placed even his intimate expansion Arjuna under seeming bewilderment at the commencement of the battle by his inconceivable Shakti. So, by the Lord's Maya, Yoga Maya, he put him in Mahamaya. Then, on the pretext of removing Arjuna's ignorance, spoke his own Upanishads, Swarachitam, Gita. His Gita is Swarachitam, which exceedingly ascertains the real nature of himself and his energies. So, this is there in the Mangalacharan verse of Balya Vidyabhushan. I hope you all remember, but let us go back to that. Okay, in this verse. अज्ञान निरादि उपेति यया विशेषम भक्ति परापि भजते परिपोषमुच्चे तत्वं परम स्फुरति दुर्गमम अप्य अजस्रम षाड्गुण्य भृत स्वरचितम प्रणमामि गीतम. I offer Gita, which is swarachitam, his own composition, and by which the ocean of ignorance is specifically, comes to an end. Swarachitam, it's a swarachitam by which the ignorance is destroyed. So the same verse he is paraphrasing in his introduction, Baldev Bhushan. So I just wanted to point out that point. Okay, let's go again further in the discussion. Removing Agyana Niradi, he spoke, and he spoke about his energies. Five subjects are described in Gita: the Lord, the Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So Baldev Bhushan is also the commentator on the Vedanta Sutra. Actually, the Vedanta Sutra very critically analyzes these five tattvas, in which is summarized. The Vedanta Sutra is summarized in the form of Vedanta Samantak, which was not Radha Raman Goswami. Sorry, that day I my mistake. It is Radha Damodar Goswami. The work after 100 years of it's a 18th century work. Some attributed to Baldev Vidyabhushan, some attributed to Radharaman Goswami, but a lot of debate has been going on. Whoever the author must be, but Radha Damodar Goswami was the one who first uh, Baldev Vidyabhushan met and had that, you know, he transformed from a Madhva to a Gaudiya Vaishnava. And he recommended him to that take shelter of Vishwanath Chakravarti because he was the leader of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So humbly he sent him. And Baldev Vidyabhushan became his Shiksha Guru, disciple of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. So he was a great scholar also, Radha Damodar Goswami. So these five truths he has very critically also in summary analyzed in the Vedanta Samattak. Uh, that's what I just wanted to mention. Among them, the powerful conscious being Vibhu Samvit is the Lord Ishwar. So Prabhupada, out of his compassion, has dedicated 2-3 paragraphs to convince us, because in the traditional times, only those who have studied Sanskrit grammar for years together, they have developed that faith. So they need not preach them about the existence of God. They accept it based on faith. They have developed, and they have Shastriya Shraddha in one sense. But today's agnostic people, atheist people, you have to logically first prove that the God exists, and then about, he's a conscious person, So all that comes. So very few, words he explains these five topics. So just one line about Vibhu Chaitanya, Ishwar is Vijay Samvit, and minute conscious is Anu Samvit. Samvit he uses the word because it's conscious or cognizant. Prakriti is the substance which is the shelter of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Prakriti means Trivida Prakriti. Prakriti, Jair, Gunair. No? The gunas. Prakriti means the three gunas. Kala is unconscious substance, devoid of the gunas. So this is the definition he gives of Kala. Note, this means that Kala is distinct from Prakriti. So Kala and Prakriti are little distinct. So that's what it makes the point. Ramanuja also accepts this in his system. Jiva also places Kala as part of Nimikt Maya, whose other constituents are Karma, Daiva, and Swabhava. So the Kala Shakti, along with the Swabhava and the Daiva, enters, at the time of creation with his glance. So the Kala Shakti is there. So it's part of Nimitta Maya. Again, we will not go into the terminologies. What Jiv Goswami says is Nimitta Maya and all, Gunamay Maya, like that. He analyzes it, and this is not the place where we can. Oh, just a minute. I'll have to charge my computer. Give me a minute, please. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So only You have to understand Nimitta Maya means karma, daiva, and swabhava. It has two functions, vidya and avidya. Vidya causes bewilderment of jiva, and avidya causes bewilderment of jiva, and vidya causes the jiva's release from prakriti. So this vidya further is, prakshepatmaka and avarnatmaka. This functions along with Gunamaya or Pradhan, whose constituents are Prakriti, Mahatattva, Ahankar, 5 elements, 11 senses, and 5 senses. So that's the Gunamaya Maya, which is the 24 elements. This is called as the Nimikta Maya.
हाँ
Please don't speak in between. No, it's very distracting. Gunamaya supplies the material body for the Jiva. So Gunamaya function is the 24 elements and it gives the body. I mentioned this, Karma refers to the force of destiny which fulfills the efforts of men in response to previous actions. So this is one line definition of karma. The characteristics of these items are as follows. Among them, the first four, Ishwar, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma are eternal. Jiva, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma are under the control of Ishwar. So all these four are under the control of Ishwar. This is also another thing to be noted. Okay, I have to connect my writing pad. I had to again service the laptop, so yeah. So firstly, these all four are eternal, but these four are under the control of Ishwar. The fifth item, karma, it's anadi and is liable to destruction like prior non-existence. Praga abhav, that's a timer's. Although it is anadi, it has no beginning, but it can have an end. That is why it is called as praga abhav. Note, something which has not yet existed has not existed for infinite time in the past. It is anadi, non-existence. But this state of infinite non-existence comes to an end if and when the object in question makes its appearance. Thus, some objects have no beginning but have an end. So this is the concept of pragabhav. The only objects which have consciousness as their essential property Swarup are Ishvara and Jiva. So this is another point. So, you know, consciousness is there not in Kala and Prakriti, but only in Ishvara and Jiva. Karma is also not conscious, it's inert matter. It is. They are unaware of other things, samveta, and have recognition of I, self-awareness, asmadartha. This consciousness, uh, Jiva and Ishwar, they have awareness of other things and they have a recognition of self-awareness. Note, followers of Shankara argue that Brahman is consciousness itself with no awareness of self or other things, what to speak of being a doer. So this is Mayavad philosophy that there is only Brahman, you know, it has no awareness of self, nor it has awareness of other things. And then, there's no question of doer also. Kartapan nahi hai. Okay, now Baldev Vidyabhushan goes on giving pramanas about this Brahman, Of course, with awareness and awareness of other things here. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. That Brahman is knowledge and bliss. Manta Bodha Karta Vijnanatma Purusha. The Lord, that Lord who is knowledge itself. Manta Bodha, the knower and the doer. The doer is Karta. Vijnanatma is the knower, I think. Purusha. Yah Sarvagya Sarvavit. He knows all things, knows everything. Sarvavit. About each thing. Sarvagya. He knows all things. Also, the Shruti says concerning self-awareness. So, Kamayata Bahusyam. He desired, may I become many. It is. Bahusyam. Eko Bahusyam is there. So Kamayata Bahusyam. This is Taittiriya Upanishads. So that means he is aware, I want to expand myself. This is Mahavishnu, while creating, all the jivas are in the body without gross and subtle bodies and they have a desire to enjoy. So he expands by expanding the creation and giving the facilities for the jiva to enjoy. So Eko Bahusyam. So this is one more. Sukham Aham Aswa Aswapsam Na Kinchit Avidesham. I slept happily and was not aware of anything. So the jiva has and the Lord have awareness, you know. So when you sleep, I slept very blissfully. If you're not conscious, because in sleep, deep sleep especially, the senses are not functioning, you know, subtle senses also not functioning. The intellect is not functioning. So in one sense, Jagrati, Sushupti, Swapna. In Shushupti, the mind is still active, but in deep sleep, even that is not active. So who actually experienced the bliss of sleep? So it is a jiva, and we all have this experience. Note this phrase is raised by Sridhar Swami's commentary 11.3.33 to illustrate that the soul experiences while mind, intellect, and ahara are not functioning during. So even all these three are not functioning, but it is the soul who experiences. So that's why it proves this. This awareness of self in both the Lord and Jiva is not material ahankar, which arises from Mahatattva. That is meaningless proposal since the material ahankar disappears during Pralaya. So Kamati shows that the Lord has had an identity before manifestation of ahankar. Because before the creation, the Lord spoke. So Kamayati. So it's not material ahankar. And neither the Jivas had gross and subtle bodies, so there was no Mahatattva, so there is no ahankar. So like that, so it is not material ahankar, self-awareness. Thus the Lord is proved to be both the doer and experiencer, karta and bhokta, from the use of the words sarvagya, sarvavit, bodha and karta. The equivalence of knowing with experiencing or enjoying is recognized by all as in the following statement. So now, how there is awareness of us and others, so many quotes he gave. Now he is going to give quotes of the equivalence of knowing with experience or enjoying. Now here. So ashnute sarvan kaman sa brahmana vipaschita Taittiriya Upanishads. He enjoys all sense objects along with the knowing Brahman. This statement makes clear the equivalence of the two words knowing and enjoying. Even though the state of being the knower is not actually different from the Lord as Samvit Swarup, knowledge itself, just as the sun is not different from its light, the Lord has his capacity to know are distinguished as different by the power of Vishesha. Now, this is a concept which, Baldev Vidyabhushan, the concept of Vishesha, he brings it from Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya developed it in his Sampradaya. And Baldev Vidyabhushan is very well acquainted with the Madhva philosophy because he was a Madhva sannyasi. Later on, he became a Gaudiya sannyasi. Now, what is Vishesh? The, the example, please try to understand this example. The Lord as Samvit Swarup, even though the state of being the knower is actually different from the Lord as Samvit Swarup, knowledge itself, there is knower and knowledge, just as the sun is not different from its light. The Lord and his capacity to know are distinguished. So the Lord and his capacity to know. Now what? By the power of Vishesh. Now what is this power of Vishesh? Vishesh is the power of objects to distinguish their being from their qualities. The concept derives from Madhva, as I mentioned. This power of Vishesha produces a likeness to difference, but does not produce actual difference. It produces a likeness. This potency gives rise to affecting difference, to enacting the states of objects and attributes, though there is no real difference. Thus, the wise acknowledge meaningful like being exist, different and distinct, time exist at all times. So, these English words are only a little puzzling for us. Time exists at all times. Time exists at all times. So there are these two things. This is the power of Vishesh. Being exists, different difference is distinct, like that. So there are these two statements. I will give you some examples to make this again more clear. Let us finish this. The prohibition of perceiving the qualities as inherently different from the Lord is stated. Evam dharmam pratak pasyan tan anu tan eva anu vidhi vidhavati. One who perceives the qualities of the Lord as different from him pursues only those qualities and ends up in Samsarkata Upanishads. So there is the quality of the Lord and the Lord himself. And by the power of Vishesh, though there is distinction, yet it is considered as one. Now I'll give you a very simple example. Okay. A very, very simple example. What is the color of not like a wood, which is part of the tree, but it is made into a plank, and used in the doors, or it is used in windows or as floor. What is the color of it? Who will answer? Let us see. Who will answer? Simple question I'm asking. What is the color? Anyone knows or no? Yes, Beer Krish Prabhuji.
Mm, It's brownish too after
It's
drying.
brownish. Now, the wood has this quality of brown color, correct?
Yes.
Huh? Now, can you distinguish, you know, it is a quality of wood, correct? To have this brown color.
Yes.
Yes. But wood and its quality of this color brown, is it one or different?
Actually, it is one, but it is what do you call identified as a quality. It is
Ah,
that you identified as a
which is there with this. Yes, yes. So
mm,
this is something like the concept of Vishesh.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So this is thus in explaining about the qualities of Lord, it is forbidden to see a real difference of those qualities from himself. Real qualities from himself. So, but there is this power of concept. Even those unwilling to recognize Vishesh must accept that in the absence of this apparent difference, Vishesha, they cannot speak about the object-attribute relationship in a situation where there are numerous qualities. These subjects will be examined in the scripture in an appropriate place. So, based on this concept of Vishesha, Baldev Devbhushan bases his commentary of the Gita, which we will not go into it now. We are just focusing on the 5 topics. Baldev's commentary on Vedanta Sutta 3 through 32 covers this point. So it is covered in Vedanta Sutra. As we observe qualities everywhere, we have to accept them. We also observe objects possessing qualities. If we accept qualities, then they must relate somehow to the object that qualify. That relationship is called Vishesh, an inherent power in the object itself. Wood inherent power it is brown, by which it distinguishes itself from the qualities yet remains united with the qualities. So this is the concept of Vishesh. Okay. I hope with this example it is more clear. In this verse, the exact natures of Jiva and Paramatma, their powers and the methods of realizing will be precisely explained. So in this Gita, the nature of the Jiva, the nature of Paramatma, powers of Paramatma, and the methods of realizing will be discussed. The nature of Jiva suitable for the mercy of Paramatma and the nature of Paramatma which makes him suitable as the object of Jiva's worship will be taught. Prakriti, Kala, time, and karma will be shown as instruments of creator Paramatma. So they are his instruments for creation. Okay, so that's it. That's the commentary of on the 5 topics. Very, very brief. And yes, if you have any questions on this, I can take it up. Any questions, any clarifications? Prabhupada's mercy we can understand by explaining so much in detail about all these 5 topics. Yes,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu, just this Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan's Vedanta Sutra commentary, is it part of Gaudiya philosophy? I mean, is it being taught in Gaudiya literature or?
See, basically, you have to understand that, you know, the sutras don't change. The Vedanta sutras, whatever 700 sutras are there. Okay. And each of the acharyas of the 4 sampradayas has given a commentary. Now,
Hmm.
the commentary will be written based on the, the darshan, Dhyar darshan, whether it is Vishishtadvait or Dvaitadvait. Based on that perspective, the commentary is given.
Hmm.
So that's why the explanations will be different of different acharyas. And Baldev Vidyabhushan, from the perspective of Achintya Veda Ved, is giving his commentary to the Vedanta Sutra. I have not even read one verse of Vedanta Sutra. I don't even know it. I don't desire that. It's not, I don't have any qualification. Say Bhanu Maharaj has translated it. Somebody asked him that Maharaj in
Hmm.
ISKCON, how many can understand this? He said, I can count in my fingers, he said. So you required some special qualification,
Okay.
adhikar for that.
Thank
Of
you.
course, it
Thank
is best if somebody has very good scholar has studied and explains it, then it's easy to understand in one sense. Okay.
you.
You have to study under a teacher for a long time. Then, that makes sense. But on your own, it's difficult, very difficult. And you
Hmm.
need good Upanishadic knowledge also for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it
Thank
resolves all the contradictions in the Upanishads. So you need to know the Upanishads in one sense
you.
also. For us, Gita
Thank you.
Upanishads, if we are thorough, we have done in life. Okay.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions anyone else has? Okay, so then we will take up now the next paragraph, that is 27 to 29, the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. You see, the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, it has to be accepted in the spirit of devotion. The purpose is to deliver from nescience. Now, what is there in the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita deals with 5 subjects. Now, now you have what's the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita? So, Sambandha is all established here. Abhideya, process is Abhideya. Prayojan, result. You see, Prabhupada's article is also based on Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. So, these 2 paragraphs are dealing with Prayojan, and then any article, should conclude. So, there is a conclusion and glorification of Bhagavad Gita. Such a brilliant article. It is based on Tatparya, lingas. Prabhupada's essay is based on Tatparya lingas, based on the concept of Tatparya lingas. You can see that. Okay, now let's see this section 27 to 29. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, these are the subjects in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, when you start studying, what is the process? All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, now for this principle, Prabhupada gives the example. Cow dung is a stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. Dung of any animal is impure, but cow dung is pure. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. In fact, uh, the scientists have confirmed that if if your houses are having cow dung paste, lape, and it can even prevent radioactivity. That is the power of cow dung. You know? So cow dung has all the antiseptic properties they have seen. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. So he see how Prabhupada, how do we now accept this Vedic knowledge? What is the process of accepting? Now, first you have to accept that Vedic knowledge is infallible. It is complete and infallible, and the example is cow dung. It might seem contradictory, but Prabhupada, you have to accept this because it is given in the Vedas. So then he gives that even modern science accepts it. So whether from the modern scientific view or from the Vedic view, both ways you have now ground to accept. And explaining this principle, he has given the example. Now he concludes so that whatever knowledge is given in the Vedas is complete. It is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is that Vedic knowledge. So ultimately, because this is the process for understanding Bhagavad Gita. Now, with respect to this, I have we have all studied these three kinds of Praman: Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. How many types of Pramans are there? Anyone knows? Subha, Ikshan, Krishnaji, how many types of Praman are there?
Prabhu, three as you told now.
Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. That's it.
Uh, I don't have idea for you. Sorry.
Okay. Ashok Atma Prabhuji, are you there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am there. But according to me, I think these three only, Prabhu.
Three. Okay. Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. No idea, Prabhuji.
At least you have idea that there are three these, Pratyaksha.
Yeah, these three. Yeah, just now you told Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shakti.
This you have studied, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nandini Mataji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
how many?
Prabhuji, I know these three only.
Oh, good. Chakram Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Prabhu. I think your audio, you have to on it, I think.
Seven, Prabhu.
Pardon?
Seven.
Oh, where did you get this seven figure, Prabhuji? Which are the other four? Can you
In
tell us?
different combinations. I read it somewhere, but I'm failing to get it.
Okay, okay. Bir Krish Prabhuji, how many according to you? I am
Prabhu,
sure
10 are there. 10 are
you
there,
know the
Prabhu.
answer, I know, because you have studied Tattva Sandarbha, right?
Yes, yes.
Tat
Prabhu,
Sandarbha,
I had a question from this para which we read.
Shad Darshan also, it is mentioned there are 10 types of proofs, among which principal are these three. There is, many others. There's Upman, Upama Praman, and then there is,
Anumiti,
huh?
uh, Anumiti, Upma, and Aitiki, and
Aitihe,
uh,
and then
uh,
there is one more of
uh, Yarsia, something like that.
Arsha Praman, like that. All these 10 are there. So in the Tattva Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami speaks about it. Yes, you have a question? Yes, Prabhuji?
Prabhu, in this para, Prabhupada writes that all Vedic knowledge is infallible and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible.
Yeah.
So, why Prabhupada is mentioning Hindus? Hardly Prabhupada writes like this, like Hindu and
Now, actually, Prabhupada is aware, that there is no Varnashram now. And basically, now India is called as Hindustan, you know. So that's what Prabhupada has some purpose in using it. So that's why we have to just accept it, like that. So because
Right.
it follows of Varnashram, except Vedic knowledge to be complete and perfect, no. So in one sense, if reading, somebody reads, oh, I'm a Hindu, I should accept Vedic knowledge and complete and fallible. Even if he does that,
Mm.
in one way it is good, like that. There are no people who are following Varnashram. Okay. So there are 10 types of Praman, among which these three are the principal, Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. We know that. I'm not going to the discussion of Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is direct sense perception and Anuman is inference. Shabda is hearing from the Guru Shish Parampara. Now, uh, Shabda is transcendental beyond. If you want to know anything about beyond this material world, there is a spiritual world. Pratyaksha, you cannot, perceive it, nor you can mentally speculate about it. So it is beyond Pratyaksha and Anuman. So there is no other way you can know it uh, apart from Shabda. But the point here I'm trying to make is Prabhupada's example of cow dung. You know, now cow dung, Shastra, Shabda Praman says it is pure. So based on Shabda, we can accept. And scientists also have now what? Proved that, while giving our courses, we say give scientific evidence. Now, the students who come to hear Bhagavad Gita, they might not have so much faith in Bhagavad Gita, in the Vedic knowledge as perfect and coming from God, so I should accept that as truth and follow it. That faith they might have not developed, but they might have faith in scientific evidences. And based on scientific evidence, what we are giving, they might take up slowly to spirituality. So, we quote that. So this agrees with Pratyaksha and Anuman. About the coding example, it agrees with Pratyaksha and Anuman. But certain, things which scientifically might not agree with Shabda, like, the distances of the moon or something to do with the cosmology. The modern scientists say something, the Vedic cosmology, the Vedic Puranas, and the Surya Siddhant might say something else. And there might be contradictions. And you might have faith in science and not have faith in Vedas. So there is disagreement, but still, we follow Shabda, although, through Pratyaksha, because Pratyaksha is defective. Our senses are defective. So any knowledge gained from the senses cannot be perfect. We have to, it is complete and infallible Vedic knowledge. So we have to accept that. So that is why some might agree with Pratyaksha Anuman, some might disagree. But ultimately, both should take us towards Shabda. So that's the point I just wanted to make with respect to this example which Prabhupada is quoting. And now that is why Prabhupada is saying in the next paragraph, Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. You do research. Our research work is imperfect, Prabhupada is saying. If you're going to research work is only imperfect because we are researching with imperfect senses. So something which is imperfect, how can you get perfect knowledge? Like I'm going to give a very simple example. Now you want to perfectly find the dimension of certain thing using a microscope. Now you use the microscope which is created by a human being and you're using your eyes and you're seeing through the lens of the microscope. Your eyes itself are defective and you're seeing through the lens of a microscope which is prepared by a human being. So you cannot get, perfect, uh, results. Now, I am not really, it's many years I have, in touch with all these scientific data. But, to measure large distances in the universe, planets, I don't know what is There is one Yard's constant or something is there. Anyone remembers? It's a Yale constant or a Yard constant or something based on some scientist. And this constant, figure, numerical figure has been changing over a period of time. Yeah. So that's why Prabhupada's this statement hammers, cuts the illusion. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down as stated in Bhagavad Gita by Parampara 4.2. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source and discipline succession beginning from the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and hand it down to the succession of spiritual masters, Guru Shishya Parampara. So, Evam Parampara Praptam, 4.2 in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting. Sarvam etadritam manne yanma vadasi keshava. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Gita and not another. That's why you should know the entire 18 chapters. Not that because I'm practicing Bhakti Yoga, I'll only study the middle 6 chapters. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, not material sources. That which transcends the material world, material mind, material senses, material intelligence. It's completely spiritual. How with material senses we can understand? And it's spoken by the Lord who is transcendental. He has transcendental eyes, transcendental intelligence, transcendental mind. And he lives in a transcendental abode. The words spoken by the Lord are called apurusha, meaning that they are different from the words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected by 4 defects. A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes, is invariably illusioned, has the tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of the all-pervading knowledge. Now, my question to all of you is, this knowledge is coming from perfect source Krishna. Krishna is perfect. And it is transmitted to the Guru Shishya Parampara. So, the spiritual masters are also, human beings born in this world with these defects. They have senses. They are also having limitations. So then how, uh, it how it remains still perfect? Who will answer this? Let us see. How it still remains perfect. Okay, Shubha Ikshana Krishna Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, it is coming in the disciplic succession as a Shabda Praman.
Okay.
That is why that authenticity of the Guru Parampara is intact.
Can you explain your statement, what it means?
In Guru Parampara, when the knowledge has been transferred,
Hmm.
it is through the Shabda or the knowledge transferred through the words. So before it was always in the Gurukul and all, it was all knowledge through the Shruti. And then down the line, when Kali Yuga started approaching, it came in a writing. So that is where the
No.
Guru.
Please understand. Okay. Now the Guru is speaking from the Shastra.
Mhm.
It's Shabd only.
Yes.
But he has imperfect senses or what? That because he might
No.
misinterpret it, and then how are you sure that you're getting perfect knowledge?
Guru is a perfect Prabhu as a personality. Is in direct touch with Krishna via medium.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts anyone else has? This, what is it called? Chinese checker, right? Yeah, Nandini Mataji. What are her thoughts? Let us see. Yes.
Because Guru is whatever knowledge Guru is giving, it is nothing different from which is mentioned in the Shastra. It is being passed on as it is.
Yeah, do you know this? It's called as Chinese whispers, correct? Chinese whispers,
Yeah, that game.
What is it? You tell us, please. Mataji?
Like everybody sits in a circle, and then one statement is given to a one person, and then that person pass on the same statement to in others next person's ears,
Okay.
and so on. It get like transferred from one person to another, and the last one should loudly tell what was the statement. So many a times it mismatches with the what it was started with.
Correct, correct. So similarly, the knowledge spoken by the Lord, by the time it comes into disciplization, it should, how do you make sure that it is the same message and it is not being watered down or something else has come? How do you ensure that? Is my question. That's what.
Because shastras are eternal. If that thing is there in the shastra, means it is bona fide.
Yes, that is understandable. Yeah, here I would like to point two things. One is, as Shobhik Krishna was wanting, that conditioned souls have these defects,
Yeah.
but a liberated soul is free from these defects. First thing, Shabde Parecha Nishnatam. This is the qualification of the spiritual master. He has heard the Vedic literatures from his spiritual master and he is realized the text in his heart. And in his heart, Krishna is there. And that realization Krishna is giving him. So when he speaks, he is speaking the realized words coming from his realization, which is directly, like the voice of the super soul. So in that sense, it is perfect. So the Lord is seated in the heart, and it is not the knowledge of the head which is coming in the Chinese whispers. So that's a little difference I wanted to bring out. Okay, fine. I hope you are able to get what. So there are these four defects. So now, with these four imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of the all-pervading, of all-pervading. Now, these four defects, which we discuss in our device courses or Bhagavad Gita courses, only one Praman I found, that is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karna, Apatava, Ishvara, Vakya, Nahi Dosha is Sab. The material defects, Dosha is Sab of mistakes, Brahma, illusion, pramada, cheating, vipralipsa, and sensory inefficiency. Karna apatava does not exist, nahi, in the words of the Supreme Personality of God. This is in the Prakashan and Samvad. Now, this is the reality. Now, the senses are limited, so they cannot, it's like you have a door and you're not able to completely perceive the reality because one of the door is partially closed because the senses have limitations. And because the senses of limitation, we mistake the complete reality to be something else because we are not, there is limitation. So we can't realize it and we make judgments. And although we don't realize it, we feel like that this is an illusion. And then we come up with a cheating propensity. So Mr. Darwin, with his limited senses, saw the reality when he went on that tour, you know. He saw giraffes, he saw the birds, all these species, and he came up with this theory of evolution. So, with his limited senses, he just saw the external things and the body evolution he was seeing. And he mistaked and he did a judgment and he felt, oh, monkeys also, when have scratch, we also scratch, they also have feelings, we also have feelings. And you come into illusion and then you come up with the theory of evolution. And although there is evidence which goes against this theory of evolution, all that evidence you keep aside, you know, and then you promote your theory in order to cheat others. So this is cheating property. So it's like one door is uh, partially closed. There are other doors, and again ahead there is another door which is still more closed. So like that, one after another, because of these, there is a progression you can see from Karna Bhatava to Brahma to Pramad and Vipralipsa. So this is the progression. So that's I just explaining the four defects. This is all part of the introductory Bhagavad Gita course. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma. So I mentioned that the spiritual master, in his heart, he has realized this knowledge. That's why when he speaks, directly it is the inspiration of the super soul. And Brahma, in his turn, disseminated his knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of him becoming subject to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prapitama. Pitama is Brahma. Prapitama means father of Brahma. Because Brahma is addressed as Pitama, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things which are set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. So Prabhupada is speaking about, being aware that the Lord is the controller of this universe and to become conscious of the Ishavasa principle. Now, after explaining the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita, he'll come to the next subject, which is the result of understanding Bhagavad Gita. This we will take it up tomorrow. But any questions you have up till now? Any questions, any clarifications you have? No? So today's discussion was quite simple. But of course, we discussed two concepts about the four progressive defects, and we did not go into Pratyaksh, Anuman, and Shabda in detail, but how there might be things which might agree with Pratyaksha. We can use them as scientific proofs, but our faith is in Shabda. Some might disagree, but still we should pin our faith to Shabda and not the scientific evidence because it is disagreeing with the. So we might use what is agreeing and discard, but we cannot do the other way. So these two concepts we studied. Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji, you have a question? Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, this Guru's quality, Sabde Paricha Dishnatan. So, how, I mean, neophyte can identify that, yes, he's Guru and he's to be followed. I mean, how to.
That also Krishna will give the intelligence from within. Okay. Fine.
To the sadhaka.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Hare Krishna.